Tonight need to try to sleep because your body already knows how. And in the next few minutes, something very gentle is going to happen. Your nervous system, the part of you that has been holding everything together all day, will finally be allowed to rest. Asked for rest. If your mind has been racing, if your chest is armored, then this moment, right here, is exactly where you need to be. I've sigh. Letting gods. Tonight, Tanashua at listen. Not all at once, like a soft exhale you didn't even realize you were holding. Ashuasaf theirself exhale, protecting, even when you didn't notice it, even when you tried to relax. Aswanda sleep hasn't. Stamall right now. You need to. Savan, some begin to. Oh, body will begin to recognize a quiet permission that's finally safe to let go. As feintensh, safe to release the tension in your shoulders, safe to soften your jaw, safe to slow your breathing, safe to stop holding everything together. As all that was, and you don't have to try, because your nervous responds to force, doesn't respond to safety, to softness, to repetition, to gentle guidance. Eyes settle into your, so is exactly what's happening now. To settle into your, as you settle into you, settle into your ordered, fully supported, as if the surface beneath you is holding more of your weight than usual. Such a surface, without changing anything, center, fix it, but simply to observe, mafawasim, the way it moves in, and as you notice it, subtle, you may begin to feel some softening in Amiand, because right now, lighting a halfen mass up, this your moment and you now. Of softness, tosses. Your narrow space stand, and as that understanding deepens, you may begin to feel your body becoming heavier, not in a way that traps you, but in a way that grounds you. Alpha is slowly releasing its grip, as if every muscle is slowly releasing its grip, every layer of tension gently unwinding, without effort, without resistance, and your mind, which may have been a mind, and your mind, not because you forced it to, but because it no longer needs to stay active, off, safety, every safety, because safety, every body, all moving together into a deepest moment, and you may not even notice the exact moment it happens, the moment your system begins to fully let go, because it happens gradually, naturally, quietly, like sinking into a warm, supportive space, like sinking into a listen. Even the effort of listening will begin to fade as your body takes over, guiding you deeper into rest, guiding you to. This is something your daddy, and tonight you are finally giving it permission to do exactly that. And as reset, Yam to Nastru take your next. The moment your nervous systems quieter, and from here, everything becomes easier, softer, quieter, as you begin, us, and as you begin to settle here, there is nothing you need to change, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to control, because something very quiet is already beginning to happen, something your body has been waiting for all day. Like something may, just an process of letting go. All five. It doesn't announce itself. Outly. Begins softly when everything inside you starts to release. As all thing inside you, as if your body is realizing that it doesn't need to stay alert anymore. As if you're all day. This email holding thing nice. And now whole signal of stillness, a signal that says you can stop now, and your body let's stop now signal, and your body sensation. You're allowing yourself to enter, so you don't need to make it happen. I did fight and last car. Just a little more than before. Allow yourself slightly, even muscles. Allow your muscles to release even slightly without needing to note exactly how, also slightly, to melting it. And as you begin to allow these small things, something deeper bees, and right now, and now, and right now. And you might begin to notice, and you might they crowns you, as if every part of you is slowly settling, finding its natural place, without needing to hold itself up anymore, resting more fully. Your head resting more fully, your shoulders dropping slightly, your arms becoming more supported, arms subtle, and even if it's subtle, even if it's barely noticeable, it's exactly how this process works. As real relaxation, as an quadrum for layer by layer. You may begin to notice your breathing again, not because you're focusing on it, but because it's becoming easier, slower, more natural, as if you're slower, as if your body is taking over, doing exactly what it knows how to do when it finally feels safe enough, safely, gently, and that safety is beginning to spread quietly, gently, through your entire system, eyes softening quietly. You may feel it in your chests, or in your jaw, loosening without you telling it to, or in your forehead, smoothing, start to slow, which may have been busy bars of, because your system is no longer searching for solutions. It's beginning to rest. As that rest deepens, and as that rest deepens, you may notice moments of quiet, small gaps between thoughts. As that rest deepens, then as that rest gaps, and those gaps begin to grow until your thoughts feel less like a constant stream and more like occasional ripples in an otherwise calm space. And you don't need to follow the source, and you don't need to follow those ripples. You don't need to understand them. You don't need to engage with them at all as firm system. Because right now, this moment is not a thinking. I'm all a system. It's about the arm. And as that return continues, you more supported, more grounded, as if the surface beneath you, and your body doesn't resist that, because it doesn't need to anymore. Is sub, because the moment wow guarding no lomi. And that process is continuing. And as it continues, something deeper continues. Your breath there, almost like it's guiding thee in that gentle rhythm and in that night, body, mind, all slowing together. When our calm will continue to deepen, now understands. As that understanding settles even further, your breath begins to guide you more naturally, more gently into an even deeper rhythm. Slowing continues. And as that soft slowing continues to breathe the way it was always meant to, a subtle difference, and you may notice it now, that subtle difference, the way each inhale arrives a little more gently, the way each exhale leaves a little more completely, as finally inside you is finally letting go, without needing permission, without needing effort. And this is where everything begins to deepen, because your breath is directly connected to your nervous system. As slows. When your breath slows, your body listens. When your breath softens, your system follows. When your breath becomes steady, everything inside you begins to settle. Settling. And right now, that settling, as settling is, notice how the breath moves without force. I then notice how it leaves, slowly, softly, as if it's carrying something. Exhale. And with every exhale, your body releases just a little more tension, a little more effort, a little more holding. And you don't need to be. Gently out, inhale thee. And as this rhythm continues, you may notice that your breathing is becoming slower, without you making it slower. As this suspicion breaths, shamoses become spacious. There is a quiet stillness, a moment where nothing is happening and nothing needs to happen. Stillness, and that stillness is Ramesh Samva. Dastandi understands that it is no longer being rushed, no longer being pushed, no longer being held in alertness from your breath. And that under it spread, everything soften, friend, become. And this rhythm becomes staying slow. And as you continue to notice it, you may find that your attention naturally rests on the breath, not in a focused way, but in a gentle, passive way, as if your awareness is simply floative-wise. Awareness is simply floating along with it, rising with each inhale, settling with each exhale, eyes settling with cycle, and with every cycle, you move deeper into calm, deeper into stillness, deeper into rest, and you don't need to measure, and you don't need to understand it. And as perfectly. As your breath continues in this way, you may a gentle wave moving through your body. Fixing slightly on the inhale, falling slightly on the inhale, and that wave begins to relaxing away tension. And that way, each inhale, releasing what you no longer. Whoa. Rhythm. Slows. Our heart rate slows. your muscles soften, your mind becomes everything aligning, everything settling, everything to balance. From activity into rest, eyes, system, from alertness into safety, from holding into letting go, then shift, and that shift is happening to do anything at all. Fasos is guiding you there, You may notice softer now, soften, as if your body is releasing deeper layers of tension with every breath out. One as us the sauce, soften. Real, you sink and exhale into the surface benumb, or at ease. You now. Less effortful, as if your body is taking only what it needs and nothing more. When this is how natural breathing works, when the nervous system is calm, when the body feels safe, when nothing is being forced, face up now, and right now, you are returning to that natural state, breath by breath, moment by moment, as you remain here. And as you remain here, you may notice that your thoughts are becoming even quieter, not because you're stopping them, but because your breath is no longer fueling them. Instead, your breath is calming. Instead, your breath is calming them, slowing them, softening them, until they begin to drift. All those clouds. You don't need breath with this rhythm, with this calm eyes, as you do, and from this place, gentle wrist place, this steady, gentle rhythm, your awareness begins to shift again. Steady, not outward, but inward. Settle the deeper layers of your body. Eyes of such shift begins in a new way, ease of turning gently at the top of your madrigal, and as your breath continues in this slow, natural rhythm, something deeper begins to happen now, not just in your breathing, but in your body itself. Softens, softens, the body begins to listen, and when the body listens, it begins to let go. And you may begin to feel it now, very gently spreading across sensation, almost like a quiet wave of ease, spreading across your scalp, spreading a quiet wave subtle, imagine forcefully, slowly didn't even notice, is slowly beginning to melting, and that melting, honest, naturally, entrance slow, spreading through, without resistance. Medicine. Soft release begins at the crown of your head. You may notice as your forehead. Across your forehead, thinking has been. Small muscles begin to eating. Your forehead soft is gently, and your eyes focus analyzed, softening into stillness. You might even feel a slight heaviness around your eyelids, a natural signal that your system is slowing down, eyes slowing down, and you don't need to hold your eyes, focus them. You can simply allow them to rest as they rest, and as they rest, the muscles of fascias, yowling tension, be all this naturally in max position, and you and Be jaw relax or soften, soften, coming even quieter now, more distant, less important, as if they're asking no longer, as if they are no longer asking for your attention, no longer pulling you in, as if them too no longer, because your body is already doing that work through relaxation, through release, through stillness, for wave of softness, for wave. As this wave of softness continues, it begins to move down further, free, from your so much tension, where so much tension is often held, from holding your head up, from carrying the day, fastening your neck muscles, that tension begins to dissolve. Loosening, softening, releasing their grip. Office of softens for fast. If your head is becoming lighter, more supported, more at ease, sas and you may notice that you don't need to hold it up anymore, because the surface beneath you is already doing that for you. As that realization settles in, and as that realization settles in, your shoulders begin to respond, as that realization slowly dropping. As if awake, you falls natural, not forced, not sudden, but gradual, as sudden. That release feels layer by layer, and as your shoulders soften, your arms begin to follow, as you see your upper arms releasing, your elbows releasing, no longer needing softening, supported, at rest, by sign, which have been holding, all again. Now as goes physically but internally, because holding in the body often reflects full, sir, and now both Segadai, automatically, because it is already happening, automatically, naturally, perfectly, fs, automastoy, feeling softer, heavier, melting into stillness, and your breath continues to guide this quietly. Each inhale, every breath out, you let go a little more, without effort, without resistance, as this deep relaxation continues. And now, as this deep relaxation continues, your awareness begins to move further down, are ready to release, a soft release. And as that soft release continues, moving down through your face, through your jaw, something very important begins to happen now, not just in your body, but in your mind as well. Ask the mind as well, but in your Mars behave. All right, go, softens you. Your thorn, them, they are, as the Maya, as if the mind itself is beginning to understand that it is not active anymore, as for so long, planning, replaying, anticipating, as for sub, even when you didn't ask it to, for and Gabelis, Mao, or Saini is sending a different safety, because your body says Deva, and the mind responds to that signal quietly, slowly, without resistance. As soften, your face continues to soften, your forehead becoming smooth, your cheeks resting, your jaw unclenching completely. Self begins to thinking itself, self begins to slow, not stop, but soften, like a stream becoming still water. Thoughts no longer move in strong currents, and in that stillness, thoughts no longer move in strong currents. They begin to drift, lightly, loosely, and you don't need to follow them. You don't need to engage with them. You don't need to analyze them. And as that letting go deepens, shift down awareness, that then as that shift happens, your breath continues to guide you gently, steadily, without interruption, in quiet, and out quiet, natural, slow. And with each exhale, your mind a little more distant, as if each breath that, and you don't need to resist that, because your nervous system is now beginning to understand something deeper, that it is safe to rest, and a safe samdi, becoming lighter, more open, less pressured, as if space is forming. It's space, and that space is spreading aliyah, slowly, and now the relaxation and awaf, and your breathing become and your marks, as if something inside is finally allowing itself to relax, to stop holding so tightly. And with each breath, that release continues, deeper, wider, more complete. Release continue. And your shoulders, as if all the weight of the day, is nobody understands this sound. And your body understands this now, very clearly, calmly, and so it continues to let. And as this wave of relaxation moves through you, your awareness scatters, no longer pulled outward, no longer scattered, but gently resting inward, no longer pulled out statin. Avam some only still mother is now beginning to slow into something softer, something quieter, something more peaceful, something drift us through. Any thoughts that pass them drift, like distant echoes, fading gently into silence. I fast silent, because right now, your system is doing exactly what it needs to do, for returning to balance, returning to calm. As that returns and as that return continues, your breathing remains your anchor, steady, natural, quietly guiding you deeper. Softness, am here. Your body begins to prepare for even deeper relaxation. As the wave of softness moves further down into places that have been waiting all day to finally let go. Softness, quiet. And as your mind continues to quiet, something very noticeable begins to happen now in your body. So much shoulders. Your shoulders, which have been carrying so much all day, begin to respond. Not because you are telling them to, not because you are forcing them to relax, but because your entire system is finally receiving a signal of safety. Us final changes F signal, and that signal changes everything. And that signal and that help in readiness no longer needs to stay alert. Avs safas Allah naturally. Ashfas as oh wait, you didn't even realize you were carrying is finally set down. That subtle shift, and you may notice it now, that subtle shift, that quiet release, that soft surrender, that subtle shifts, that subtle shift by moment, breath by breath, my full far soft you take, and with each breath you take, your shoulders on awe, sink a little more, sink a lot done, nothing you need to do, slam, sa. Many times, every time you truly rested, every time you truly slept, it is remembering that state again. Now, it is remembering that state again, returning to it step by step as your shoulders continue, the muscles along your neck, which have been holding your head upright through effort, through tension, through the demands of the day, free soften. Head is side time, and that support is important because your body is saying, Sam, that it does not need to hold everything on its own anymore. It can be supported and be rested at us savas. And as that realization settles in, your shoulders drop even further as that realizations settle lower, and your neck becomes easier, looser, more comfortable, as the tension slowly dissolves, and you may even notice a sense of space forming there, where tightness used to be, a sense of openness, sense of ease, spread, and that ease begins to spread, not only in your shoulders and neck, but deeper into your entire upper body, as your breathing all beginning to soften back, you're beginning to soften together, all beginning to softens, or not control, steady, even more controlled, and with each exhale, your shoulders release a little more. A is something, and there is something very important happening here, something your nervous system understands. It is beginning to shift out of doing mode and into resting mode. Resting shifty, out of tension and into safety, out of alertness and to calm. Shift, and that shift, and that shift is what allows everything else to follow. As eskandekas and the shift, because when the shoulders, the mind softens, when the breath slows, the nervous system settles. Overthinking, and as this continues, you may notice your awareness becoming softer too, less focused, less sharp, more diffused, more peaceful, as if your attention itself is beginning to relax, no longer glued onto anything tightly, and you don't need to guide it, control it, quiet, now, there's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to think as suffers on this moment, and the soft unfolding, your deeper stillness, settling into feel almost as a deep silent release, a violent silence is something, and in that release, something very safe to go. Trust that it is safe to let go, and is what trust and deepen is once deep and is and allowing is exactly so. Your shoulders soften even further. Your neck becomes even more relaxed. Your upper body feels even lighter, even though it is resting, even more fully supported as this continues. And as this continues, your breath remains steady, guiding deeper, quietly, gently, naturally, ice. And from here, something even deeper begins to prepare. As this wave of relaxation starts to move downward into the rest of your body, as that weight continues to dissolve, and as that weight continues to dissolve, not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, naturally, like something heavy finally being set down after a long day. Asif sits down. A deeper shift begins now, one that is not just in your muscles, not just in your breath, but in your entire nervous system. Asfoswo, one that eats everything you feel. Because something your body are essential, samta, ashamti. And as that safety begins to form, you internal exhale, as if your whole system is finally saying, it's okay now, as if you're high near, in that moment. And because your nervous system does not relax because you tell it to, it relaxes because it feels safe enough to stop protecting you. E15 in full on and the mans of the day. Avs fall, even when you didn't realize it. Even while it stayed alert, quietly working in the background. As it stayed alert. But now, something in system, that protective system, is beginning to stand down. Just a little. Just enough to allow rest to enter. As feel it softening in your sit does. And as a gentle, subtle easing in your stomach, a quiet drop in your shoulders, as Aish finally is stomach, is supplely, as if your body is finally exhaling a breath it has been holding for far too long, as if your body is nasik jol is not just an mental, fundamental, realignment, fundamental, and you don't need to guide it, you don't need to far, because your body already knows exactly how to do this. It has been waiting for the right moment, and that moment is now, as Faf's safety continues to build. And as that safety continues to build, you may notice your breathing changing again, becoming softer, more spacious, less effortful. Eyes afs as if your body is nani anything, minds as if you're having soa. Your nervous system from a state of alertness, freeness, readiness, and a relaxed shift. And that shift is not one of your as it deepens, you moving outward, starting as spread to further away again. Less structure, that disappearing, not dissipating back. And you don't need to follow. You can simply down. So, because right now, your body is more important than your thoughts. Your breath is more important than your thoughts. Your rest is more important than your thoughts. Askal Sasen Salom. My system responds, and as you settle into that truth, your nervous system responds even more deeply. Does he settle on guard? It no longer needs to stay active. It no longer needs to stay tense. I've sameness, fully, finally. And as that exhale happens, you may feel softness through you. everything beginning to soften together, continuing to soften together in one continuous flow of relaxation and one continuous fi. And that flow steadier, and as it continues, you may notice your awareness becoming quieter too, less focused, less sharp, more open, more peaceful. As one unified you is beginning to slow down, everything inside you is beginning to slow down into one unified rhythm, breath, body, mind, all moving together toward rest of for stance, and in that unity, no struggle left, no holding na and funny system far down through your body, preparing you for even greater release. As first something natural begins, something growing sensible, and how effortlessly your body begins to melt, your body literal sense, Gandhaya by beneath you, and you don't need to guide this melting, you don't need to control it, you don't need to imagine it perfectly, you only need to allow it. Sat support, Yundaji understands support, he died, understand, working to go, so you may begin to know, as each vertebra begins to feel more supported than before, supported than before, as if your entire back effort, without resistance, of us important, and that feeling of being held is important. Are safe, you are supported, you can rest now, are safe, you are supported, slowly releasing the need to hold themselves up, releasing the need to stay ready, releasing the need to stay tight, arms which have already begun to soften, your shoulders which have already begun to soften, now melt even further, dropping more completely into stillness. Your neck, Riyam, feels wider, softer, more open. Tension continues to dissolve through it, as is natural. And this melting sensation, like warmth slowly spreading through something cold, softening it completely over time. And as your body continues to melt, your breath continues to guide everything quietly, steadily, without interruption, and soft, endowed, gentle, natural, and each exhale fully supported. And you may notice now not a burdened way, but a grounded way, sent pulled Kosifion West, Closetolmeist, Asus. It is pulling you into safety. And as you allow that safety, your system begins to first in your back, release further, the tension in your spine softens further, the holding patterns you didn't even notice begin to unwind, as feels natural. And that unwinding feels natural, almost like your body remembers how to rest and is simply returning to it. As far. And in this return follow, on this surrender, and as that surrender deepens, you may notice your awareness beginning to soften again, becoming less focused on anything external and more gently aware of internal calm. Calm through your entire body now, like a quiet wheeze, releasing tension, softening edges, bringing everything back into balance, softening tensions as that wave continues, your entire core begins to release deeply held tension. Sawstars deeply held tension, ears and holding is a release hell as a system activation, a release of readiness, a release of effort, as of efforts, and with each breath, you go deeper into that release, deeper into that melting, deeper into that safety, as safety, and your mind, which has already begun to quiet, now becomes even softer, even more distant, even more peaceful. As thoughts drift further away, like distant echoes in a quiet space, no longer demanding attention, no longer shaping your experience. Just follow them, and you don't need to follow them. You don't need to return to them. You can simply remain here in this soft unfolding of rest, as unfolding the process, because your body is now leading the process, not your thoughts, not your effort, not your intention of some symmetrical jaw of calm, a light, and a stillness, the stillness that includes winter stillness, only this soft quiet, and from here, as the waves that are now ready, and into places very subtle, your awareness, our awareness, not outward, not toward sounds, not toward thoughts, not toward anything that needs attention, as for something softer, but inward, towards something quieter, something softer, something more spacious, something more need to guide this shift. And you don't need to guide this shift. You don't need to control it. You don't need to understand it, because your body already knows the way, as that inward movement continued. And as that inward movement continues, you may begin to notice a sense of space forming inside you. Not empty space, but calm space, open space, peaceful space. A false space. It is where your nervous system begins to fully settle. At space Matchel regains your slow, gentle, unforced, steady rhythm. Exhale external and moving closer, and you notice now less tense in separate areas and more like one continuous field of relaxation. Divine field of relaxation. Soften that it is safe to let go completely. Eyes are safe, and that agreement is deeper, because when the body settle, as you remain here, gently, quiet, softens further, your abdomen relaxes more deeply, your back feels fully supported, your arms remain still and at ease, your legs become heavier in a comfortable way, as feel like it belongs exactly where it is, to feel like it belongs exactly where it is, nothing needing to be adjusted, nothing needing to be changed, nothing needing to be fixed. This moment, just that. As attached to anything outside of this experience, then in that calming, a sense that nothing is missing, nothing is wrong, nothing needs to be done right now. And as that sense deepens, your nervous system begins to slow even further, not because you are telling it to, but because it finally feels safe enough to do so. Faith stronger, and that safety is becoming stronger now, more present, more complete, and a quiet feels so, allowing you to fully relax into it, emphasis supporting you, and as you relax into it, you may notice structure less frequent, less important, forces as if they are drifting further away from the center of your awareness, no longer pulling you in, no longer shaping your experience, stepping you, I stand to them. Ask us simply, cause now, stillness, like calm and ease. And as that stillness deepens, you may begin to notice something even more subtle now. Quiet expansion inside you. As if your inner space is becoming wider, more open, more free, less confined by tension or thought. Eyes, fi. And that expansion is not something that happens, when holding releases, and now, and now, and from here, as if and that calm is steady, stable, continuous, like a gentle presence holding you from within. Balance. And you can trust that presence, because it is your own system returning to balance, returning to safety. And as that trust deepens, drifting even further inward now, beyond awareness of details, into pure experience of calm itself, Asa Sifkum, simpler. From here, everything becomes simpler. Everything becomes quieter. Everything becomes easier. Simply. So, you are no longer doing anything. You are simply being, resting, allowing, letting go. As the downward into the next layer of stillness, words, and within this quiet inner they are still there, but they are no longer close, no longer sharp, no longer demanding your attention. Are distant, like distant echoes, soft, saw them, and you don't need to follow them anymore. You don't need to engage with them. You don't need to hold on to any of them. For self-centered, your awareness is no longer sighted in thinking. Your awareness is no longer, as that shift continues, you may notice something very important happening. A widening of space between you and your thoughts. As the thoughts, as if your thoughts are moving further away, becoming quieter, less defined, less connected to your sense of self. As steady. And you remain present without needing to chasten jazz in estis and poor when thoughts are close and there. And that relaxation is happening now. And that relaxation is happening now. Slowly, naturally, without effort. Avalzesium nand more effort now. As spacious. Our spacious no longer needs guidance. Breath no longer needs guidance. It is simply on its own, perfectly balanced, on its guidance. And with each exhale, less relevant, less connected to you, less and be just they are readying on their own. Just like slowly retreating from the shore, leaving and that calm water is what your mind deepens. And as that stillness deepens, humaneness itself feels softer, less focused on any one thing, and more open, more spacious, more relaxed. Ask for spacious and free. And calmness. There is no urgency. There is no urgency. Only presence. Only stillness. Only ease. And eyes that ease are full. And as that ease continues traction, as sauce, your shoulders remain soft, and your legs feel heavy in a peaceful wags feel way, and that support beneath you continues to hold you effortlessly, allowing your system to fully let go. Go more deeply, something let go more deeply, something nervous system, from processing, from process to restoration, from holding. That shift is not something you do, it is something your body allows naturally when it feels safe enough. Avs, favs, safafs, ab, I now and deeply say, and its safety, deeply, ameths, and games, more settled, wall-lined, and as that alas, sorrow, and during relaxation. Only soft continuation of letting go, moment by moment, breath by breath, as this continues, and as this continues, your thoughts now feel extremely distant, like faint impressions in the background of silence, firm influencing you, no longer influencing you, no longer shaping you, no longer pulling you any. As you and you remiss space, this spire for a slayer. And as your mind continues to quiet in its own, without effort, without resistance, begins to happen now. Not because you are forcing it, not because you are trying to sleep, but because everything in you is finally aligning with the state of rest, half a moment, as if your body has been waiting for this exact moment all day. A moment where it can finally stop holding, finally stop preparing, finally stop staying alert, as a soft, a moment is and me, inner entire, a settling that feels like sinking gently into warmth, into safety, into stillness, aves, ends, and you don't need to guide that sinking. You don't need to control it. You only need to allow it. Ask us, Sakli already knows exactly how to do this. It has been doing it since the moment you were born, returning to rest, returning to balance, returning to sleep, ice, sleep, seep, and as that remembering happens, are effortless, more natural, as if your breath is no longer something you are doing, but something that is simply happening on its own, without instruction, as exhapem, in, arm. Exhale, in with each stillness, closer to stillness, shing, not falling, Bunos respond beautifully to staffed. Your, continues to soften with each breath, as feels comfort, and your legs feel heavier now, not in discomfort, but in deep comfort, as if they no longer need to move, no longer need to carry anything, as to resistance, in that heaviness is not resistance, it is grounding, it is stability, it is rest becoming physical, as as your body settles further, as your body settles further, your awareness becomes even quieter, even less focused on thoughts, even more immersed in stillness. As stone, feel extremely distant, if they'll extremely distant, like faint echoes, as quiet spear, no longer shaping your experience, no longer pulling your attention, just passing through, like clouds drifting across a still sky. Aves, near in that changed, steady, and that awareness is becoming softer now, less sharp, more expanded, more peaceful, as if your entire mind is gently opening continues from a state of light relaxation into a deeper state of restoration, and as that of light deeper state of light process into process is net process, and that process act that you don't need to observe it, you don't need to control it, you only need to remain stay calm and no see remotus. You may notice a gentle wave of stillness moving through you again, starting from the center of your body and spreading outward, starting through your shoulders, through your arms, through your legs, evan, etas, adi, effort, a deep knowing, rest. And as that presence deepens, you may begin to feel as if you are drifting, not away, but into yourself, into calm, into quiet, as this flushes, and that drifting is effortless, gentle, natural, like floating in still water. As focus, the quieter and the deeper you drift, the quieter everything becomes, the more peaceful everything feels, the more supported everything is. As fast-supported soft rhythm, and your breathing continues to guide you, like a soft rhythm, consistent, calming, calming. And nowst, even now, not something to reach, not something to achieve, but something you are naturally returning to now. Wa. Woos. And as you drift even sleep, something very subtle begins by the surface beneath you. Not just by the surface beneath you, but by something deeper, something wider, something more supportive than effort alone could ever create. Something wide you itself, as if the space around you itself has become supportive, gentle, steady, and completely safe. Steady, with that feeling of being held, and you notice your body relaxing even more deeply now, without any instruction, without any effort, without any resistance. Because when the body feels fully to hold itself together, it no longer needs to remain active. So it lets go, more complete, and it is a continuous unfolding, like layers slowly dissolving into softness, one after another, without interruption, one after that unfolds. And as that unfolds, your breathing remains steady, in our arm, you breathing your mouth, and your body begins to feel even down. Your body begins to feel even heavier now, but in a peaceful way, a grounding way, as if gravity itself is gently helping you release everything unnecessary, as if gravity is not resistance, it is surrender, surrenders more completely, samana as your body surrenders more completely. Your mind continues to soften in response. Thoughts that once felt quiet, Thoughts that once found no longer shaping your backgrounds, and you don't need to interact with them. You don't need to understand them. You don't need to follow them. Some attention, your attention. Your attention is resting somewhere deeper, in calm, in presence, stillness. Stillness is expanding now. Stillness is expanding now, slowly, gently, naturally, spreading through your chest, legs, until your entire body feels unified in relaxation. Wise, unified, as if every part of it now, without agreement, is powerful, and that agreement is powerful because it allows us to rest into relaxation. From rest and relaxation, scent shift continues. You may notice a very gentle sensation of sinking, and deeper layers of awareness is gently descending, and each layer you pass through feels quieter than the last, more peaceful than the last, more spacious than the last. And simpler. A simple me, and that simplicity, and in that simplicity in balm. And as you continue to rest here, you may begin to feel even more deeply held now, as if the entire experience itself is supporting you, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, energetically. Everything is holding you. Everything is guiding you. If that sense of full being held creates even more relaxation in your system, because safety deems surrender, keepens rest, surrenders your body, you may notice still, but deeply stillness where even the need to move begins to fade, where even the need to think begins to dissolve, where even awareness itself becomes soft and quiet. Soft and quiet becomes, and your breathing continues its gentle rhythm, anchoring you deeper, soothing you further, guiding you naturally into rest, soothing you further. Quiet, and now you are very close to sleep, closer than before, closer than you realize. System is now fully aligned with rest. There is no resistance left, only surrender, only calm, only letting go. Yes, and from here, you begin to drift even deeper toward the final layer of relaxation, where sleep naturally begins to take over. Surface, as your body becomes more and more still. And as your body becomes more and more still now, something very gentle begins to happen with your awareness. Suddenly, not suddenly, it starts to soften, not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, naturally, like mist settling into a quiet valley. You may notice that everything softens. You may notice that everything feels further away now, sounds, thoughts, sensations, all becoming less defined, less important, less connected to effort. Softening is important, and that softening is important because it is an awareness. Awareness no longer needs to be focused, no longer needs steady, and instead it begins to dissolve into quiet presence. Instead, a presence and demand. And you don't need to hold on to anything in this space. You don't need to add to our knees. Fire. You already know. Barely notice something now. Sleep begins. If your body continues to feel bonny for rest, and that sense of support allows your nervous system to release even further now. Omnis support as a system guarding, stops holding, and in that stopping there is a profound comfort. And as that surrender deepens, you may begin to feel your body becoming extremely heavy again. But this time it feels even more distant, as if your awareness is no longer strongly attached to it, as if your body is resting and your awareness is full, flows forth. There is no urgency left, no direction left, no need to think or respond. Sliding softly, and as you drift, all might calm low as disturbance of thought, just stillness simple. And in that stillness, nothing is expected of you. You are free now, free from effort, free from thinking. Thus that is settlers, where awareness starts to fade naturally, but gently dimming, like a light slowly lowering itself, every softer. Everything becomes slower, and you may notice that coming softer now, less defined, less active, more relaxed, as observation itself is dissolving in simply restful presence, and that presence is enough. Astful pied, standing at the very edge of sleep, that dreaming begins, and there is no effort in crossing it, no decision to make, no action required. It happens naturally, just like breathing, just like resting. And as you continue to drift, and as you can tell if is gently fading around you, our faths gently fading, not disappointment, firmness, joy, and yuri near, and deep relaxing. Sleep begins to gently take us, something dire system, system, and as your awareness continues to fade, not in a sudden way, but in a soft, gradual dissolving, something very natural begins to rise within you now. Something you are trying. Sleep. Rising, not chasing. And you don't need to, you don't need to encourage her. Our sleep has always known the way to you. And now, it is simply finding its natural place. As it rises, you may notice everything becoming softer again. Your thoughts, your body, your awareness, all gently slowing down together. All slowing down, like a tide going stillness, only quiet presence of us. And in that presence, there is no effort left, no resistance left, no tension left to hold. As fav of four, only a deepening sense of learning now, only a deepening sense slow, almost any notice happening door. White, sleep, rises a little more within you, not as something separate, but as part of your relaxation itself. Your body continuous viven molding is, and that distance is peaceful, because it means you are no longer holding anything, no longer carrying anything, no longer needing to manage anything. Nasa simply being held for you, supported for you, rested for you. And as that realization settles in, Your nervous system releases even more deeply now. Supporty, safety, because safety is now fully available. Af's a sister, and there is nothing left, and there is nothing left. And as you drift deeper, your thoughts become almost imperceptible now, like faint impressions that no longer matter, no longer affect you, no longer pull you anywhere. Stop thee. And you don't need to stop them. You don't need to clear them naturally. Because everything is already fading naturally. Everything is already settling naturally. Everything is already becoming still. As stillness. And in that stillness, there is a deep sense of comfort. A quiet sense of being exactly where you need to be. Scarfed us, carved missing. Nothing wrong, nothing sofi, shoffus. Always sin as that peace continues to deepen. You may begin to feel your awareness becoming very thin now, like a gentle veil between waking and sleep. Soft, fragile, calm, and you are no longer fully in waking space, and in mamish, and in this spare, and your body continues to guide you deeper, without instruction, with it, without resistance. Natural enough, winder. And now sleep begins separate from him. Sleep begins our readiness, dissolving awareness, as that shifter, as if moment to soften, as if moments are no longer distinct, just a continuous flow of calm, just a continuous flow, and within that flow, you are safe, you are held, you are deeply at ease. Isasasaswas, gentu, and now. There's nothing left to do, except to drift, gently, gaze, gently in. Sleep moves even closer now. Something you need to create, not as a change you need to create, not as something you need to reach, but as something that is naturally surrounding you more completely now. As vast, stillness, soft. A stillness that far, stillness. Your body knew itself has become a cushion of calm, as if the spasha knew carrying you. And in that feeling of being fully supported, your nervous bonds even more deeply now. Because when support is complete, the need to hold disappears. The need to stay alert disappears. The need to control disappears. And in that disappearance, there is a profound release, a deeper surrender, a quiet letting go into rest itself. And you may notice now, your body feels almost weightless in its heaviness, a paradox of deep relaxation, heavy yet effortless, grounded yet floating. Grounded, and you don't need to understand that feeling. You only need to allow it, because your body already understands it perfectly, slow, naturally. And as you allow it, your breathing continues to slow naturally, becoming even softer now, almost disappearing into background stillness, as noticeable, barely noticeable, and with each breath, further into relane, and your thoughts, if any remain, feel extremely distant now, like faint traces of memory that no longer require attention, no longer influence anything. And you don't need to follow them. They are simply facing naturally, like echoes, stillness. Do you remain here, in deepening reddened calm? At rest is becoming rest. as every relaxes together, asks together, your face remains soft, your jaw remains up, your chest remains open and calm, your abdomen remains relaxed, your legs remain heavy and still, and everything, your entire body, as if your entire form, no longer separate parts. And within that peace, there is nothing to fix, nothing to improve, nothing to achieve. Eyes, Salama, Su unfolding. There's gentle, and as that stillness deepens further, you may begin to feel yourself drifting again, not forward, not backward, but inward into quieter layers of awareness. Softer, and each leffer than the last, until everything becomes so simple, just breath, soften. And even that presence begins to soften now, becoming less defined, less separate, more blended with rest itself. Very close to sleep, closer than you have been in this entire journey. You assist them. You. It is simply Anas, fully. And as that natural rest deepens, sleep begins to rise even more clearly now. Not as something entering you, but as something you are already becoming. Soft, efforts, soft, quiet, efforty. Effortatha, only drifting. Effas, even ma. Everything becomes calm. Everything becomes still. Yarrow, made so as something natural in. As everything natural begins, something that require your attention. Sleep begins dumbly, forcefully, not soft, wise, and eaten. Ray fallenness. Your awareness is now becoming very light, very soft, almost transparent, as if it is gently fading into the background of stillness. Eyes, deep peace, deep peeing. There is peace, deep peace, the kind of peace that requires nothing from you. Eyes, fully carrying you all day, which has been carrying you all day, is now fully resting, completely supported, completely safe, completely at ease. Every muscle soft, every muscle so. Breaths. While these gentle descent into deeper fully, as sleep fully begins to take over now, you may notice even awareness itself starting to dissolve, not disappearing abruptly, but gently dimming, like a light slowly lowering into night. I've slowly slown that dimming. There is comfort, there is safety. As you and arm are entering sleep itself, restful, ancient, softer again, as if the world around you no longer matters, no longer reaches you, no longer pulls you anywhere. Farm remains, calm remains, only stillness remains, only rest remains. And now, your breathing is able in its softness, deeply softness, in our alley and within Moni, and with Iper into Lao. And now, there is no separation between you and rest, because you are rest, you are calm, you are stillness itself. Nothing needs your place, nothing can disturb you, nothing needs your attention, requires your response. You are safe, you are safe, you are deeply supported, and as you drift east of first, and as you drift even further, sinks fully into stillness. Your awareness fades into sleep, as fades fully, only sinking. And now, you may begin to feel sleep fully taking over, not as something outside you, but as something you are becoming, something you are because soft, quiet, peaceful, endless calm, eyes in that calm, balance, healing, as Domash, Efar, as Manis, Alnam, Ye, and now. There is nothing more you need to hear, nothing more you sleep now, only sleep now. And as you speak, and sleep gently, kindly, and deeply, of softly, wise thou, sleep, ampla, and if you would like more gentle sleep journeys like this, more moments to unwind, release, and drift into deep rest, you can quietly subscribe to this channel. There is nothing you need to do right now, only rest. But whenever you return, you will always find another peaceful place waiting for you here to help guide you gently back into sleep.